Uh-oh. Any better? Can anybody hear me now? How's that? Any better? Now I know I have your attention when you tell me you can't hear me. Somebody write down in the comments, do I have the audio now? Let's see if we got it. Good, yay, we got the audio, woohoo! Hey, so what I was saying is, how's everybody doing in 2021? So now I know if you can't hear me, that must be the message from the universe. Oh my goodness, here I was just going on and on. I hope there's some lip readers out there, but thank you to my loving fans. I love you so much, and I do appreciate each and every one of you. Maybe we all just needed a good laugh to move our bellies back and forth from all the stuff we've been through in 2021. So what I'm going to be talking about tonight, I love you all. At least I know you're there. That's a good thing. Is we're going to talk about what's in store for 2022. Will it be crazy train all over again? You know, or will the crazy train be over? You know, that song by I think Ozzy Osbourne, Crazy Train. You know, is that what's going to be happening to us again? Are we going to exit that crazy train? Is the ride over? Can we expect more of the same? And what can you do about it? How can you work through things? And as normal, I talk to clients and I pay attention because I know that it's not just me, that there's a lot of people that are going through so many things right now. And as you all might remember, I've been doing this business, and one of the reasons I started doing this business is because I thought it was always just me. And then I would do energy clearings from Akashic Records for my clients and find out, nope, it's them too. So anybody who's an empath, starseed, or highly sensitive person, you're going to be experiencing a lot of stuff. And it started, you know, when the two planets, put the malefic and the benefic, locked in together. And now we're on a whole new journey. And that journey involves a lot of changes. I know. And we're not done yet. However, there's good news. So let's get on and talk about the new, what are we going to expect in 2022? And since we had to start the audio, so you all could hear, this is Deanna Lloyd, and I'm with toolsofenergyprotection.com, the founder of the Spiritual Awakening Academy, and your Akashic Records advisor, energy shift expert, also a starseed and empath, and a highly sensitive person. So I came fully loaded to this lifetime. And if you're one of those, you know, hey, glad to have you aboard. All right, let's talk about what's happening. So there are so many different aspects coming up to 2022. And I'd like to tell you, everything's going to be good, everything's going to be coming up roses, but not true. Is it going to be better than 2021? In some respects. Is it going to be better than, you know, some other things? Maybe not. There's a lot of things that are going to be going on. The bottom line, I was talking to my guides before I came on. I said, okay, what do the people need to hear? What do they need to know about 2022? And the guides said, the bottom line is it's all about you. It's all about how you handle this. It's all about how you change your perspective or not. So listen up. 2022 is about each individual person in the collective consciousness. That means you. It means, how are you going to embrace this new year? How are you going to embrace the new energy as it is that's happening now? So a lot of you asked me, well, what new energy? All right, let's have a look. I'll share my screen here at what's happening on the world scene at large. So we're talking about the electromagnetic frequency of this planet. We're not just talking about politics here, okay? So this, my lovelies, going to share this real quick, is Schumann's resonance. What does that mean? This is a picture of the heartbeat of the earth, of the electromagnetic grid of the earth. And if you'll notice at the very tippity top up here where it says 0, that's 0 hertz. You can now hear that. And then down here comes 4, and then right under that's 5. So what does that mean to you? How is that changing on the planet? Anytime that you see this line, if you look at the very, very top going all the way across, that means that there is a frequency and energy that's below 5 hertz that you can hardly hear, if at all. I feel sorry for the dogs if they're actually listening to it. But it is, from my understanding, the hertz, the frequency, the vibration that you desire in your human brain in order to reach that Zen point where you're connected to all that is, where you're connected to God's spirit or source, where you can feel the Zen, the Chi, the Holy Spirit. People say that monks would work for years doing the Om so that they could finally get to this place where they were connected, where they could tap into universal energy, if you will. And last year, one of my brilliant students said, hey, things are starting to show up here. Now, before, it was below 4. And that's where the mental, where it begins to stimulate your mental cognitive ability. But anything above that, and we've had lots of it lately, and in great amounts, that steadies the mind. That's like being in meditation. Have you ever been in meditation and it feels great? Nothing is wrong. You feel like you can face the world. You can do anything. And then after you get out of your meditation and you get up maybe 2 minutes later, maybe an hour or 5 hours later, something goes wrong in your life, boom. And you're like, oh, it's terrible. I can't do this anymore, right? If you can hold your own position for longer than that, good for you. But for some of the rest of us, we struggle with it. If that's you, can you give me a thumbs up or a smiley face in the comments so I can at least know that I'm on the right page with you all tonight? But anyway, that's what's going on. So you're walking around with most of your day being in a vibration that you can't even hear, but your brain is able to connect with it. And it is a state of being at peace. So quite a few people were commenting to me, I feel like I can't get anything done. I feel like no matter what I do, I can't go forward. I don't have the energy. I don't feel engaged. I don't feel ready. I feel overwhelmed. Any of those will do, because what's happening is you're recognizing that your brain is being stimulated by a gentle, loving energy. That's what it's doing. It's actually making itself so that you can connect in a way that you have a direct connection to God's spirit or source, that you can feel anything that you desire. It took people centuries of practice and practice and practice and practice to get to this point. Centuries, because it wasn't available then. And now it is. And if I'm not mistaken, the alignment of the planets recently was really close to when Christ was born, or Jesus was born. It was about the same lineup. I haven't looked into it in detail, so any of those of you that are really super into that, if you look it up and let me know, I would really appreciate it. But I think it's pretty close. Anyway, if you'll look here at December 28th, right up in here, you see how up and down this is? Scrubby, scrubby, scrubby. And this one over here yesterday was a little bit more gentle. A perfect heartbeat of the earth will be very, this one comes over and goes straight up, comes over a little bit and goes straight down. The energy you're looking for is more of a bell curve. It's an easy up and an easy down. And if you'll notice, it wasn't all at rest last night, and it's not all at rest right now. And you've got more of these other frequencies that stimulate the brain. They stimulate the audio portion of the brain. So if you feel like you're talking to yourself, you know, maybe you've got more going on up there than you know. All right. So go ahead and post some more questions down here at the bottom. I'm going to stop the share. And then I'm going to get on to talking about specifically what my guides are telling me is in store for 2022. And yes, I'm actually going to go on record as saying this, so if it doesn't come true, you all can go look. But anyway, just kidding. I get that quite a bit though. Okay, so I am going to grab here. Let's see. Okay, we're doing good. Okay, so here's the predictions for 2022. Again, if you have any questions, go ahead and put them in the feed and I will answer them here in just a few minutes. Then we'll do a couple readings and I'll give you a couple of different things in your reading. All right, so basically, the guides were talking to me about 2022. Here's the juice. So if you look at the numbers only, 2022, we've talked about this many times before. The number 2 is an event horizon. So 0 is where everything and nothing is possible all at the same time. 1 is a point in space. And then when you draw a line from here to here, then you get the event horizon. That is number 2. So this coming up year is going to be 2, an event horizon, 0, where nothing and everything is possible all at the same time, and 2 more 2s, event horizons. So we have 3 event horizons that we can possibly put into play where everything and nothing is possible. A little aside, one weighted more than the other. But this is what the guides are indicating strictly from a numerical standpoint. From the alignment of the planets, we've had a lot of conjunctions, a lot of transits, a lot of completion. We had a completion of a 19-year cycle that we won't see again for a long time, probably not in my lifetime. So this is remembered like the inside of a clock. It's the wheels and clock, tick, 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 and then this one, tick, 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 and then this one, tick, 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 and eventually the little cuckoo clock comes out. But in this case, it's more about aligning our position on the planet as human beings, where our hearts are, how far along are you in your spiritual gifts, how much are you willing to step out and take the leap of faith, because the bottom line is our planet right now is very busy. There's more than one agenda on this planet, lots of agendas. The biggest agenda is the fight for your very soul. That's what's going on this planet right now, is a fight for your soul. And the body's gone, the soul's all that remains. So if you desire to be a part of the movement that's happening now, the movement of freeing our souls, of having a more beautiful outlook on this planet, then it's up to you. It's up to each person to take control of their own self and their own life and pick out where you're going for this year. That's the bottom line. So I'll put a little bit of fluff on it for you. So when I asked my guides about the number 2 for this year, they said that 2 is duality. I'm like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. But it's the duality in the nature of life. And I said, okay, can you break it down? And they were telling me that on one hand, so remember we have 3 2s this year. The first 2 is the mind and body in one hand and the spirit in the other. Mind and body, spirit. And I told you, when COVID first came out, my guides gave me the code for COVID, the binary and hexadecimal code for COVID. And they told me that COVID, the disease itself, is designed to cut off the communication system between the head and the body. So for those of you that are working on mind-body connection, COVID is designed to sever that. That's what the disease is designed to do, at least the first strand. I don't know about the variant and the variant after that, but that's what its MO was. So what does that mean? Well, that means that right now, and again, this has to do with planetary alignment, energy shifts, that Om state coming in, it's all coming together so that we can move forward as a human race, as highly sensitive people, empaths, oh, he scared me, and starseeds. Sorry, notification on my computer scared me. But each one of us, whether you're aware of it or not, an empath, a starseed, a highly sensitive person, whether you are there or not, whether you're that person or not, or just an average normal person, all of our thoughts are feeding into a collective consciousness. And that consciousness is steering the direction that our future is headed on this planet. It is that simple. So if you are that person that's been hearing that high-pitched whine, the tinnitus or tinnitus in your ear, and it's driving you crazy, and you're hearing it more now than you ever have, that is also a blessing. That is you being able to connect to the divine consciousness, because it's your birthright, and you were given the little spidey senses already to have it when you came into this planet. There are downloads there. There is healing there. There's upgrades there for those of you that are having weird dreams or bizarre dreams. It's all there. And if you know how to access that information, you can change your world. Just like that. One single thought connecting in, and all of those energies that you hear can be interpreted by you. And if you're interested in that, I will teach you. I am starting the Spiritual Awakening Academy mini course at the end of January. If you go over to toolsofenergyprotection.com and you click on Spiritual Awakening Mini Academy, you can get registered. You can also see everything else we're going to talk about. But these are such important times for people to wake the schmeg up. Claim your gifts, claim your birthright, get some help. A lot of people out there talking about the high-pitched whine. I see it all over Facebook, but I've never seen anybody teaching how to access it, how to utilize it, how to understand it. So you want to be part of the leading edge? Jump on board. You need a mission? Jump on board. If this whole COVID thing has caused you post-traumatic stress disorder, which a lot of my clients have been saying, I'm tired, I'm fatigued, any little thing sets me off, I can't handle anything else. I feel unable to handle anything else. I looked up the definition for post-traumatic stress disorder, and what we're going through fits a lot of those tenets. You know, am I diagnosing the whole of humanity with that? No, not my job. But what I'm doing is drawing parallels between what I'm seeing in the client base and some definitions and where you might be. All right. So the next thing the guides told me was that zero. So we got two, which is duality. They said it's mind, body, and spirit, duality. Okay. And those two things have to match up more than they ever have for you to work through this next year, for you to gain traction, to feel better, to be able to move forward, to not feel so weighed down. The mind-body connection with spirit has to be in place. If you need help, again, go to toolsofenergyprotection.com, click on the mini academy and sign up. It's really that easy. All right. Then zero is the absence of creation. Again, I told you it's kind of funky numerically weighed. But you've got the absence of creation. And remember that 2021, one is the sum of all possible outcomes. So last year we had the sum of all possible outcomes, and boy, did we have a lot of different outcomes in a lot of different places from a lot of different things. And now we are moving into the duality of the past and the present. So my guide said 2-0, and the next two is the duality of the past and the present. What does that mean? Are you going to hang on to your past as your event horizon from where you're taking off from and say, hey, you know what? I really have no desire to be a part of this future that everybody's looking at. I don't like it. It's scary. I want to go back to the past. Well, as many people have probably told you, this world will never look the same after COVID. There's so many things that changed. So in 2022, you're going to be working between the duality of the past and the duality of the present, because they certainly are dual. They're not the same. They don't fit together. So my question is, what are you doing about your future? Are you looking at what has to be changed? Are you pulling up your bootstraps and saying, okay, this doesn't work anymore, so what's next? Asking God, Spirit, or Source, your guides to open the doors and help you walk forward? Or are you going to sit over here in last year's bill and cry about everything you lost? And I don't mean that mean, because I know there's some people that lost loved ones to COVID. I lost a person that I knew to COVID. It's tragic and it's sad. And my heart hurt when I heard that he passed. But we've got to move forward and sever ourselves from the past. I worked in session with a gal today and another gal the other day. Mostly I clear energies or past lifetimes, or, help people to take that energetic or spiritual weight off their plate so it's easier for them to move forward in this life. And both of these were not clearing sessions. It was more just about talking and sharing about how we feel right now in this time and space, which is really valuable. Because when you're in this time and space, it's a little freaky deaky. It's the crazy train ride. And you don't know if it's going to be done and you're going to pull up and be able to get off and go to the next ride if you want. Or if you have to stay on, like some freaky horror movie. So I'm telling you, from the bottom of my heart, 2022 is going to be about the collective consciousness of this planet. The more people that are positive, the more people that see opportunities, the more people that pull up their bootstraps, recognize that they have pain in their heart, recognize they have losses, grieve those losses and walk forward, the better it's going to be. Because some of us were raised by parents where, Gal and I were discussing this today, you never let anybody see your weakness. You stood up straight no matter how many hits you took, you put a smile on your face and you walked forward and you didn't talk about it. That's pretty much how I was raised too. And the parents from the Great Depression did that. Don't show anybody your weak spots. Be strong, move forward. Well, guess what? The generation that raised me was raised like that. However, they were able to economically advance. So on Maslow's scale, they moved up a bit. And I never knew the hardships they knew. So I could do more things and expand my consciousness and talk about hurt feelings and talk about things I didn't like. That we're more apt to talk about our feelings this generation. And of course, that will have some effect on the next generation. What I'm saying to you now is that we have got to, as a human race, as sensitives, realize that. Do the best you can to put a patch on your wound, grieve the loss of whatever you've lost, be it money, be it jobs, be it family, loved ones. Grieve it. And as you're grieving, move forward. Oh, there goes that thing again. Sorry. But keep moving forward. Because if you're not moving forward, you're going to be lost in the past. So remember, 2022. So the first two is the duality of the mind, body, and the spirit. So we've got to work this year to bring those two together. Then you've got 0, which is the absence of creation. So you've got lots of creative energy, which is what I showed you on the Schumanns with all that stuff going on the top. All you have to do is access it and download it and utilize it. Then you've got the second 2, which is the duality of the past and present. So where are we going? Are we going to cling to the past and make it more owie trying to go forward? I'm reminded of the people that, in the movies where they're standing on like one boat's moving away from the dock. They got one foot on the dock and one foot on the boat, and it's like a comedy. And it keeps going further and further apart, and the person either has to jump one way or the other, fall in the water. So where are you? The last two my guides told me was the duality of presence and love is limitless. So basically, being present in God's Spirit or Source's love is limitless. And we limit the ability to be able to channel that energy, to accept it, to feel it, to just stand in it. It's like a giant waterfall, that loving energy. And the duality is, if you're not open to it, because your mind is cluttered with negativity, which the ambiguous they has been turning the signal up on. I mean, yesterday my little spidey senses was up and it's like all negative thoughts. I'm like, where are these coming from? Because I know they're not mine. And there is some vibration being sent out to try to get the brain to align with negativity as opposed to the loving energy up here. And yes, there are a few people that have so much clutter, it's like a cloud over them that they can't get the sunlight. And through energy clearing, we can open that up so they can receive that. So they can receive the love and the light. It really is very easy in an energy clearing. If you have one, if you sign up, you're like, Deanna, I can't wait. Your heart will feel lighter when you get done. You'll feel more secure, more grounded. Because once you're connected to God's divine love, to Jesus' love, to Source's love, then you come out of that rain cloud because you can see more clearly. Let's talk about self-love, because that's the other thing in 2020 that I've been hearing is going to be so huge. So some of you might feel like you're shifting like I have. I shifted from, I was just trying to put out fires and create so many things, and I kept failing at it wonderfully, by the way. I couldn't get my book out. I couldn't get the packages out so that you all could have some physical tools to work with, and trying to get the academy launched, and just failure after failure after failure. And it wasn't due to lack of trying, but I was overcommitting myself. So yes, I realized that would be me over here. And my guides told me that I can do all those things, but I've got to approach them more slowly so that I'm not so stressed out. So I get better rest, better exercise, better food, and then I can walk forward and be more of service. So I'm encouraging all of you to do the same thing, is to evaluate last year and how many, irons in the fire, so to speak. How many balls were you juggling? And how many of those can you just take your hands away and let go so that you can be more effective in what you are doing? And I will have a class coming up called the Power of Your Best Story Now. And I put that up, but I realized that I didn't give enough time for folks to get signed up for it. So I've moved it back, and I'll be posting new dates. So what's open now is the Spiritual Awakening Academy mini course. And that you can get signed up for right away. It's going to cover the tinnitus, the high-pitched whine. It's going to cover what is an empath, what is a starseed, what is a highly sensitive person. We're going to talk about Akashic Records or the Book of Life. How does that affect you? How can that help you? How can that empower you? Wouldn't you like to have some power this year? Woohoo! Feel like you're doing something. So you can pop over to toolsofenergyprotection.com and click on the Spiritual Awakening Academy Mini, and I'm going to teach it live again. I was going to just put it up for video, but I'm going to teach it live again. So you're going to want to jump on, because I don't know how many more times I'll teach it live. The desired outcome is just to have it on recording. So you might want to get signed up for that now. And let me pop over, see if we have any questions. And then I'm going to talk about self-love. The guides did tell me there were 3 avenues. So go get your pencil or bring up another page on your computer, because I'm going to tell you how it is to get yourself connected. Okay, let's see here. Okay, So I'm going to tell you what 3 things you can look for in 2022, and you can actually put this on your calendar. You can put it in a repeating message over and over again in your reminders, because these 3 topics will be the guidepost for 2022. Don't want to miss them. So get pen and paper or something out to write on. Okay. So let me say hello here to a few people. And again, thank you all that hung in there and did the no sound. Thank you for that. Okay, let's see. I have one question. Wants to hear from the guides. One specifically, are there any messages? All right, we'll get to that in a minute. And somebody else says, I hear music. That's good. If you're hearing music, pay attention to the lyrics. They're usually giving you a message. And the other one says, do you have any word for me for the new year from the guides? Okay, so 2 very fair questions. So what I'm going to do, normally I work with guides, I work with Akashic records, and I talk to them directly in my head and get you answers that way. However, we're doing free readings, so I'm going to give you a taste of what I'm doing over the next 2 days. So for Heaven's Sakes Books, for those of you that came to see me last week, thank you. I was there pretty much every day last week, getting you all ready for Christmas and clearing energies between you and the family dynamics and loved ones and all that, because there was a lot of people that were freaking out over the holidays, and perhaps they were all by themselves and didn't want to be alone. Maybe they were with family members or friends that they really would rather not have been with, all kinds of things. For those of you that had lovely holidays and love all your peeps, yay, keep that going. And so what I did was, and I'm still offering this, you can call the store or you can email me and tell me you'd like to have a reading, but they're called candy cane readings. And they are 20-minute readings for the new year, and they're only $30. So I'm doing this until the new year. So you're going to jump on board, and that's a cash price. If you have to do credit cards, that's fine. I'll just give you a little $2 service fee so that I can pay the fees for the credit cards. All right. So what I'm doing on the candy cane readings is I'm pulling cards from 2 decks. One of them is this one. It is a wisdom deck. And go ahead and post again questions down below, because I'm going to answer them. Uh-oh. A couple cards fell out. Maybe that's the reading for the world, right? And this one is a deck called Love and Light. So it's a very nice deck. It's more of a divining deck, and the guides will come in and they'll give me a certain frequency, and the frequency will match how I'm shuffling the cards, and that's how I get to read what's happening for you. Okay. So again, if you have a question, just post it right down here. I am doing what's called candy cane readings. If you would like to have one for yourself or talk more directly to where I can channel your guides without the cards, then call 303-964-9339. That's 303-964-9339. That's for Heaven's Sakes Books in Denver. For those of you that are outside of the United States, go ahead and go to toolsofenergyprotection.com, click on About, get the email, send me an email, and we'll see if we can line up the time zones. The readings of the bookstore, I can do them Zoom, or I can do them, there's a little thing in here on Facebook that you can private talk to each other, or in person. So I'll be doing those readings tomorrow, which is Wednesday, and also on Thursday. So you want to get those quickly. All right. Let's go back to the first person that wanted the reading, and then after that, I'm going to do a couple readings, and then I'm going to cover the 3 things, get your pen and paper out, that the world will be experiencing this year, this 2022. All right, let's see here. I'm looking here in the feed for the questions. Okay. So Polly says she wants to know if she has any message for her guides or from her guides, especially one in particular. All right, so Polly, your guides say, the one that you want to talk to, is giving me two cards. This one's called Time for a Nap, which is kind of interesting. And this one came upside down. It's called Blessed. Blessed. So the message for you is it's time to rest from whatever's been wearing you out because it's blocking your blessings. That's it. Pretty simple message. Thank you for your question, Polly. All right, next person. Carol says, do you have any word for me for the new year from the guides? Carol, come see me at the store. We need to get together, girl. Remember, these 20-minute readings are only $30 if you come in the store. It's cash price. If you do it over the phone, be a couple extra bucks to charge for the credit card fees. Okay, so Carol. Carol, the word for your new year. Wow. I'm drawing another card, Carol. The message for you. Yikes. Do come see me. Let's ferret this out more privately. It's a little bit deeper than I usually get into it live. The first one is called Orphaned. And the other one is Round and Round. Okay, so Carol, you might want to reach out to me. Remind me we've got these two cards. Orphaned isn't necessarily bad, but it may mean that it's time to cut ties with some people that you felt like were part of your family community, whether they're friends that are family or family, but they may be kind of leaving you out in the cold as far as commitments to you. So it might be time to cut ties. That's kind of an owie one. And the other one is Round and Round. So you've been doing the same thing over and over, expecting different results. That's called insanity. But I wouldn't know anything about that. Love you, Carol. Thank you for your question. Okay, Kelly says, I've heard the high-pitched noise multiple times. Okay, Kelly, if you're still listening, I want you specifically to go over to toolsofenergyprotection.com and click on the high-pitched whine training. I don't have that posted, but you can read up about it. But on the mini course, I'm going to cover that high-pitched twill or whine in the ear, what it means, and how you can utilize that as a highly sensitive person, empath, or starseed to navigate through these times and get downloads and information. It's great. So I'm so glad you said that. Please reach out to me. Hi, Ria. You're so funny. Okay, Angie said, my guides came to me where Angie says, my guides came to me where I would see one, then it switched to the next. The ones I remember were Native Americans. Good for you. So they're coming in and they're showing you themselves. That's perfect. Let's see here. Deborah says, I got the gift of COVID for Christmas. Oh, Deborah, I'm so sorry to hear that. That's awful. And it says, do you see a better, healthier future for me? Deborah, there's some things that you can pull into your conscious existence just by merely asking. And the answer is yes. So ask for what you desire and let it come to you. And then let's see here. Ria says, any messages from my guides about love and relationships? Okay, so I am going to answer that. And then we're going to talk about the three things. Remember, there's three things my guides told me this year that are going to be centering around self-love. This is going to be a huge year for self-love. Huge year. I've already been feeling it in what I told you when I realized I was just overcommitting, because there's so many things I want to get done, so many things I want to accomplish, but there's only so much time in a day that I can devote to it. And I don't like that. I would love if I could just create all day and get it done. But then where would the clients be who need me, you know, to clear the energies and help them and stuff. So it's realizing that I've got to take care of myself and put my schedule out in a way that I can eat it and digest it, if that makes sense. Give me a thumbs up. And I'm going to answer, hold on a second. Ria wanted to know if she had any messages about love relationships. Okay, Ria, I will pull a card for you on love and relationships. Remember, I'm doing the candy cane reading special. It's not candy cane that's going to hurt your teeth. It's just a cute name. It's sweet. And the readings are 20 minutes, $30 cash price. If you can't get cash to me, then we can just take a credit card payment, and I'll go ahead and take just a couple bucks to help for the processing fee, and you'll get a full 20-minute New Year's reading for those of you that are like, I really want to know. So that's for you. All right. So, Ria, darling, here is your card about love relationships. It says, commit to a spirit of excellence. Whatever you do, do it well. Wow. So Ria, my darling, you do everything you can well. And if a relationship can meet you where you're at, great. If it can't, let it go. All right, let's move on to what the guides were telling me about the 3 things that everybody's going to be facing this year. So thing number 1, and self-love category. Remember, love is limitless. So all this energy is coming from God's spirit source at this very high frequency. It is limitless. It's just like a giant waterfall of beautiful, loving energy. And only our negative thoughts are shutting it out. Only the fear is shutting it out that's in our minds. And the fear sometimes is being programmed or given to us. So anyway, number 1 thing about the self, I deserve pleasure. You deserve pleasure. You deserve to feel fully empowered. I know one of my students who is just happy most of the time. It's like, wow, what an amazing person. Yes, he has things that, you know, aren't happy, but he handles them and he smiles and he goes on and he seems to do really great. And I think that's wonderful. He knows he deserves the pleasure of life, of being able to do what he likes to do, you know, to get out and create different projects and be with people and enjoy his family. And that is something that's all coming forward for us in 2022. Whatever it is that brings you pleasure, that brings joy in your heart, is going to be huge. But remember, you have to empower yourself to move in that direction. But it's there for you. Number 2, the world. So in 2022, the way that the world will show up in your life is there is a higher plan to your life. There's a higher level plan than what you've had. So please open up. Is it a good idea to, you know, plan for retirement, put money away for a rainy day, to shift your finances so that you're saving something and paying off debt and all that? Yes, of course. Those are all things in the physical 3D world, like, you know, some of us need to, you know, maybe get a little bit more exercise. Mind how much we're putting in our mouths, right? But there is a higher plan to life than just the 9-to-5 gig or being paid to stay home from COVID or whatever. There's a higher plan. So again, I'm going to implore you to join me. Spiritual Awakening Academy Mini, or just the Spiritual Awakening Academy period. Or talk to me. I do have some places in my schedule where I just talk to folks and see how they're doing. So if your desire is to get out of your funk, 2 things. 1, look at what's going on in your world and what can you do to shift it. So maybe you're not carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders, which we as sensitives tend to do. And 2, to understand that you have a higher calling. It's time to open up to it, because the more people that open their hearts to the light and stay out of that fear, the more our planet will be lifted up. And then the trajectory for the future will be much more positive, much more positive. And somebody was asking me about prophecies. They're like, well, what about the prophecy of the Bible? What about Revelation? Where are we? Is this the end of days? Well, I'm going to be very frank with you. A prophecy is just that. It's what somebody sees in the future. But the future is always changing. So by us changing, even just one of us, we can change the future. We are that powerful. All right. Number 3, in relationships in 2022, the pervasive energy is I always come out fine. So we'll be working towards understanding that if a relationship doesn't work, usually we're talking about marital or romantic relationships, but this can be relationships with, your siblings. It could be relationships with work partners. And in 2022, the solid energy is no matter what, I will come out fine. Things might get a little hairy, might be a little bit conflicty, but when you are centered in that divine love and you're working on your world and making things more balanced, you're going to come out fine because you know that you're loved and blessed. Does it mean the other person's not going to come out fine? No. But it means that you won't be this big blubbery mess on the floor full of depression and crying. That's what it means. I hope that makes sense to you. All right, I'm going to look back in the feed and then I better get this wrapped up. It's been beautiful to spend time with you all. And let's see here. For those of you that I didn't get to, for those of you that are asking me for any messages from your spirit guides, again, I'm going to ask you to either call the bookstore, the For Heaven's Sakes in Denver. We can do a phone appointment, we can do Zoom, we can do this little Facebook chat. However you want to connect is fine with me, or you come to the store in person, and that's 303-964-9339. If you would rather email, or for whatever reason, I know they've been very inundated with lots of business lately, you can always go to toolsofelnergyprotection.com, click on About, and down there is an email that you can get a hold of me and say, hey, I want to book a 20-minute session and we'll get you set up. So I don't have those advertised on my regular, these are specials. I don't have them on my regular services. You can go there if you want a half hour or an hour. But anyway, there's a lot going on. A lot of us highly sensitive people, empaths, starseeds, are exhausted. Is it going to get any better in 2022? Not really, as far as being exhausted. So if you're getting your vitamin intake that you need, drinking plenty of water. Water is super important when the energies are shifting like this. And you're eating better food, minding your diet, getting exercise. These are all things that in a normal everyday life would help you to do better, but it's especially important now, especially important. I can't emphasize that enough. So if you're not willing to change your diet, get a little bit more exercise, rearrange your schedule so it's not so crazy all the time, and drink more water, then you're going to have trouble, bottom line, because there's going to be a lot of shifts this year. So from what my guides are telling me, as long as we pay attention to loving ourselves, moving towards things that bring us happiness or joy or pleasure, and we understand that we have a higher connection to God's spirit or source, and we know that we'll always come out fine because God has us, God's spirit or source has us staying centered. We will be of the light and we're going to be just fine. As long as you have that, out here as your trajectory, then you're going to be fine. Anyway, so remember, I've got the Spiritual Awakening Academy mini class coming up. Jump on over to Tools and click on Mini Academy and you can see what I'm going to be teaching. If you can't make the live sessions, they will be recorded and available to you. So anyway, that's it. And again, today is 12/28/2021. I will be at the For Heaven's Sakes bookstore tomorrow for appointments, regular sessions, and also on Thursday. And I look forward to seeing each and every one of you there. Again, if you didn't get a reading, go ahead and sign up, and get the discount, and we'll get together and we'll find out a little bit more deep dive for you, what your guides have to say for you. So that is it. You can always private message me if you're here on Facebook. If you're on YouTube, go over to my website and message me. So big hugs and kisses to everybody. Have a great, wonderful night. If you enjoyed the video, please share, and I'll see you next week.